Welcome to this ToolHound Learning Center video where we'll look at the settings specific to stocking locations, the tool cribs and warehouses that own the inventory that's being checked out and returned daily. For organizations with multiple stocking locations, each can have its own individual configuration. Specific to any stocking location is the possibility to designate it as a billing location. When using either the transaction or transfer rental modules, this indicates that anything leaving this site can charge rent. On the Address tab, you can enter the billing and shipping addresses, which are optional. These appear on some documents like the transaction receipt, transfer packing slip, and purchase order. To save time, copy the billing to the shipping and make any changes. The Settings tab is where you define business rules and automatic processes for the stocking location. The first option on the left-hand side is Allow negative quantity on hand. When checked, the quantity on hand for this location can go below zero. Otherwise, transactions that exceed the current quantity on hand will generate an error message and will need to be addressed before the transaction can proceed. Use cost coding turns on the ability to collect cost code information for transactions such as issues, returns, transfers, etc. Check the next option to enable recording of a work order for a transaction. Select Require Work Order to force the input of a work order when creating transactions. When selected, Verify Work Order will be displayed, and when checked, this will force the lookup of the work order number entered against a valid ToolHound work order number. Select Container Packing List to enable the recording of the container, pallet, or gang box where an item is stored for transport for both issue transactions and transfers. Select Allocate Requisition Quantity to deduct the requisition quantity from the quantity on hand. Optionally, select a job and subjob to assign to all transactions, purchases, and transfers for this stocking location. The options on the right govern how transactions are created. Allow reissue and auto-return of serialized items will permit the automatic generation of a transaction returning inventory before reissuing it when inventory is issued to an entity without having been returned from a prior transaction. The next option, Return of Serialized Item by a Different Entity Causes Auto-Return and Reissue Transactions, is used to show the chain of possession. When inventory is returned by an entity other than the entity on the original transaction, this will permit the automatic generation of a transaction for the return to the entity to whom the inventory was originally issued, as well as an issue and return transaction for the entity returning the inventory. In Transaction Type and Return Status, select the values that will be used for the automatic transactions generated by the two previous options. Select from the basic values or create your own custom versions to highlight these automatic processes. Similarly, you can select the transaction type used when issuing required tools and materials from a work order. This is available only when the service module is in use. ToolHound automatically generates numbers for transactions and documents. If you wish, you can set an alphanumeric prefix in front of the document number. This can be especially handy when you have multiple stocking locations, so you can quickly know the tool crib for an issue or originating a transfer. Let's review what we've learned so far. Each stocking location is configured individually. They can all work the same, but you do have the option to have them work independently. Settings can be changed if required, however, changing them frequently can cause confusion. Thanks for watching this video from the ToolHound Learning Center. For any questions, contact our support team, and remember, subscribe and hit the notification bell.